gonna do a little plant. Hey farm friends, my name's Georgia from Grow My Goodness here in the beautiful Bay of Plenty, New Zealand. It is a beautiful autumn evening here, and it's been a while since we have actually been here in the market garden. I've been a little bit slack with posting the videos, so we are long overdue for a tour around the market garden. Let's go. Compost is one of the main inputs that we use here in the market garden, and this bay here that we constructed specifically to hold our compost has just about run out, so I'm just about to order another truckload. A truck comes in and delivered this probably about 5 or 6 months ago, so we've gone through a lot of compost, 11 tonne specifically. So this is our area where we store our compost, and we bring it up into the garden. All of the garden beds get compost at least one to two times a year. One of the first things you noticed when entering the market garden are these insect nets. So we got these insect nets. These are just laying directly on the beds right over the crop. We got these insect nets really to help with, of course, the insect pressure, but not only the insect pressure, the pressure from birds and also rabbits. The only trouble is that they are quite fragile, and the birds, we have these large birds here called pukekos, or Australasian swamp hens, and they walk across the top of it and they just pierce the netting. So I bought another roll of this, but that has been one thing that's been really great. These are so effective at protecting the crop, but also the drawback is that it's not very strong, and the animals and the conditions, of course there's, you know, wind and things, that they're pretty good because they're sitting on the bed. They're pretty good at just staying down. We used to use cloches, and we found that particularly in the spring it's just too windy, and the sides of the cloches would really shake in the wind and it would damage the crop underneath. So these have been a little bit of a game changer for us in protecting from the insects, birds, but yeah, not very strong against some of the animals that we have here. In some very exciting news, we actually received a gold medal for our Oh My Goodness salad mix at the New Zealand Outstanding Food Producer Awards. One of the components of our salad mix are pea shoots. We actually grow these outdoors in the field, just like this. We use the boards on the seed to germinate for a few days. They come off, and then we cut these with the greens harvester. Another component of our salad mix is our mesclun blend. I've got some of that growing just here, and this was actually sown with a new tool. As we increase the production of our salad mix, we wanted to find a more efficient way to sow the mesclun. So this was sown with the Johnny's 6-row seeder. I'm still working out the density because it is a new tool for us here, but I'm really happy with it so far, and I definitely see that tool improving the production of our salad mix. The other component of our salad mix is, of course, lettuce. Now we're into autumn, moving into winter. All of the tomatoes and cucumbers that were growing in our tunnel house have come out, and this is pretty much turning into a lettuce production area. This past season, we actually invested in the clipper system, which you can see just hanging here. We installed cable across these cross braces here and got the clipper system. It worked really well for us, but there's definitely a couple of things that I'm going to change for next season. The first thing that we really realized that we needed were the wickets. Because this is a low tunnel, we're really restricted by the height at which we can actually have the plants, and we lowered and leaned the vines, but we found that the fruit sets were just too close to the ground. So we will be investing in the wickets for next season. That will stop the fruit from hitting the ground. The other thing is that in the next week or so, we're actually having the guys who built the tunnel come back in to raise these cross braces a little bit. They're actually going to put in whole new posts, but basically to just give us a little bit more height for these cables here to lift them up. It's just going to give us a bit more space for the plants to get them a little bit higher off the ground. We are restricted with it being, of course, just a low tunnel, but a couple of changes for next season. Still using the drip tape irrigation in here. We've got that on a timer. That's just going once a day at the moment. I do also have a sumi soaker in here, particularly for new plantings. I find just soaking the ground really helps with new established plantings. And we've still got our bird netting on the side here. We're going to get our plastic roll-up door put back on for winter. We'll head up to the rest of the garden to show you the newer developments. It was probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago that I did quite a late experimental sowing of beans, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. We have picked a lot of beans off here for our market and our retail customers, and they're going really well. I know that beans, I've read that they are not particularly tolerant of the cold, but we are really mild here. So I'm hoping that I'm going to keep these beans going as long as I can, but they're looking good and they've got plenty of beans on them. I really have been struggling with the weeds in this area of the garden. There's about 6 beds underneath this silage tarp. Really, the weeds were so intense that there was no way I could deal with them by hand. So I'm just putting the silage tarp right over all of these beds for a couple of weeks. That way, when I take this off, they will be beautiful and weed-free and ready to sow. I really think the reason for this is that we have been trying to shift our carrot production up into this newer area of the market garden. But for the carrots to grow successfully, we do need to fork the ground. It was quite compacted, which doesn't really produce a beautiful long carrot. So the result of that forking has caused those weed seeds to come to the surface and germinate as the soil tries to repair itself. It's just a part of the process. We know that we're gonna be battling the weeds here for a little while as we get these beds established, but treating these with the tarp is really the most effective way to deal with the weeds. So here's an example here of some carrot beds. These actually have been really beautiful carrots and quite a good yield we've got off this bed as well. But you can also see plenty of weeds down here, so when we're finished harvesting these beds, they will also likely be getting the silage tarp treatment. These 2 beds here at the end with our weed mat on here, I've actually just prepared these beds and just put the weed mat down. I haven't quite planted them yet, but these beds are both going to be garlic. The first year that we grew garlic, we grew it in weed mat. I would say it was pretty successful. I could have done more throughout the season. I think fertilizing it throughout the season, foliar or liquid fertilizer, probably would have been a really good thing to do. The second year we grew garlic, we didn't use weed mat, and we really felt the pressure from the weeds. And I think that impacted our crop again, although we felt that it was a really successful crop of garlic. Still felt like probably could have been better. So this year we've got weed mat. We're not going to have weeds competing with our garlic, and we're going to look at doing some liquid fertilizer, possibly some foliar fertilizer as well. So really looking forward to having lots of garlic this year for Christmas. And this lovely blank slate of silage tarp is soon going to be transformed into our second tunnel house. The parts have started to be delivered, so sometime over the next few weeks you can expect to see another video of us building our second tunnel house. The last few beds of our annual flowers are, well, this is it really, just the last few sunflowers here. We did have a few other beds of flowers, but those are all finished now. We've got a few more beds of carrots here coming on, and these two beds here, some more garlic that I have already planted. We've got our bank here, which I think I've probably shown in a previous video. Lots of leucadendrons and leucospermums. And they are really starting to establish themselves now. And yeah, I'm excited to see what this looks like in springtime, because they're away and they're starting to grow. So it's starting to look really, really good. So that's pretty much it for the very short update that we have today. The sun's gone. There's actually a lot to show you guys. There's a lot to catch you up on. So I'm going to be doing some new videos real soon, and I'll get into the details a little bit more. But for a brief update, that's going to do it today, guys. I will talk to you very soon. Bye.